stuff. And I think that's one of the cool things about a player like Moo is that he will run whatever. And it's not just a player thing, right? It's also the team that they're willing to give in to his ideas and try stuff. I think it can be pretty decent. I think overall Nouns lineup just looks very solid to play Witch Doctor with because you have decent setups. You have a lot of random damage that synergizes well with Maledict, right? There's the Leshrac doing AoE damage. There's the Tiny Burst. There's Drow multi-shot. Any of these things combining will find kills. What I'm curious to see about Moo is how is he going to skill? Like, is Maledict even going to be a factor? Or is he just going to go 4-4-0, you know?
Yeah.
Because we've seen different versions of this being played when it is not played as a traditional support.
I hope we don't get to see Radiance. Radiance.
Oh, I want to see Radiance. Fear got me inspired on that. I was like, I mean, it's an edge case, okay? But you're playing against Naga. There's nobody else in your team that wants to buy Radiance. It's Moo.
Oh.
I mean, it could happen. It's unlikely, but I mean, you just buy Greaves here, surely, right?
I
think you do.
Appreciate your enthusiasm, Syndron. I love to see it. Let's see.
Yeah, just get the Greaves and be done with it, I suppose. It's also a very good pipe game. I don't think the panel really talked about that much, but you look over Wildcard Gaming's lineup, the damage distribution their heroes have is extremely magical centered, right? So getting a pipe in your Witch Doctor could be very valuable. You're against Zeus and a Gyro support and a Mirana support. Pango also tons of magic damage as an offlaner. So really, if you're trying to counter the enemy team's damage output, even against Naga, Riptide is magical too, right? So
right.
I definitely think Greaves pipe on your Witch Doctor and you're probably just good to go and push high ground. Honestly, at that point, if you have an Aegis, Wildcard Gaming's damage is going to be quite lacking.
I mean, I can't wait to see what the item build is here from Moo. We'll get into it. Bounty Runes, of course, going to spawn up. I'll see if they do go for a bit of an early fight. Husky does move in, and it seems like Gunnar is going to be able to take the bounty away. So it is going to be a 2-for-2 trade on the Bounty Runes. And I suppose I asked you a lot about the Witch Doctor, but what about the drafts? Because our panels seem to kind of be favoring Wildcard's draft in general. Like, do you agree with that sentiment, or do you kind of go the other way?
I personally, in this patch, I think I like the Nouns draft more because I think the overall tempo and the lineups that we see be successful a lot of the time don't need to weather the storm as much as I see Wildcard Gaming's lineup do. I also think Wildcard's heroes are more limited in the way that they can play in tandem, right? Like, it's very specific heroes that need to play together to find kills. It's a Mirana with no real arrow setup. It's a support Gyro with no real way of guaranteeing he can stay on top of his targets. You have a bit of an X factor in the Zeus ulti, which can definitely be helpful. But you look over to Nouns' side, Tiny can combine with basically any core to find kills. Witch Doctor can combine with any core to find kills. And you have a really good way to collapse on towers with Tombstone and Leshrac and get that pressure out before Zeus and Naga become big. So I do like them overall. And I mean, we also got to factor in, right, how have these teams been playing so far? And it's... I was curious about this season of NA, I'll be honest. I was like, oh, this wildcard roster on paper, this could be pretty good. Maybe, you know, it'll be a bit more interesting than the usual 3 teams, but so far, not really, right?
Yeah.
Wildcard have just been definitely, I think it's fair to say, disappointing. The first 2 series that they lost were against teams that, on paper, they should have had their number, right? And recovering in NA after you lose 2 series like that is extremely hard to get 2 slots.
Yeah, I mean, I embarrassed myself the whole week saying Wildcard was going to be amazing throughout this tour too, and yeah, like you said, very disappointing thus far. But maybe they turn it around here in this series against Nouns. Though, you know, Nouns arguably one of the better teams right now in the region. Like, they're 2-0 at the moment, looking fantastic. Yes, they still have the harder teams. You know, you've still got TSM and Shopify to go against later on, but for now, undefeated and happy days for them. Still, no kills happening across the map. First blood has not been drawn. This mid matchup alone having a very, very good time right now against Gunner's Leshrac. Gunner kind of struggling in terms of CS. Meanwhile, the side lanes, a bit of a mix-up, it seems, so far.
Yeah, I guess just in isolation, the way these lanes are supposed to go, I think Lesh against Zeus is kind of a wash most of the time. This top lane, I have no frame of reference for how Witch Doctor does against Naga, so I can't really tell you how this should go on paper, but I think another lane that should probably just be fine overall. They have decent AoE damage to deal with the Naga illusions with the Buddha Restoration as well as Avalanche and the Tree Grab. And bottom lane, as Fear pointed out, like, what lane truly beats Drow Undying, right?
Right.
You can see Lil Nick struggling right now. He's found his 6th CS right now, so not too terrible, but yeah, Yamsun definitely coming out ahead.
Yeah, there's not really much you can do against this kind of duo as top lane. There was a bit of aggression breaking out here on Moo, just trying to go onto that Witch Doctor, but he's going to be just fine. And I suppose the Witch Doctor, pretty squishy kind of off-laner to have, but nevertheless, they are still unable to kill him. I am still very curious, though, as to the skill build of Moo, because he has not skilled up anything for that second point yet. So he's holding out for now, maybe waiting for the opportunity to see if they can find a kill here against the Naga. We'll have to wait and see, because again, this is uncharted territory here for this off-lane Witch Doctor.
Yeah, if you look at the math of Voodoo Restoration, this skill upgrades so hard from level 1 to 2. It's pretty crazy, actually, and you see him skilling it immediately. So it goes from 10 to 22 in healing and damage, so more than double at a mana cost increase of 50%. So it's a really big upgrade. He's going to be rushing the mana boots, which is not surprising. You just want to be able to sustain this restoration all the time. Hey, in reality, Yawar probably can't ever really kill this Witch Doctor when he has this level 2 restoration running and a Tiny protecting him. The question is, can they stop Naga from doing what she wants, right? Because so far, Yawar is getting really good farm on the Naga and has plenty of tangos to go still, so they haven't really threatened him at all.
No, that's kind of the thing. It's like they have not made the move whatsoever towards this man, and that's kind of why I'm wondering where this second skill point's going to go. Like, is it the cask? Is it the Melody? Well, for now, they're just going to hold out here. Lelis is going to end up rotating on the Tiny for a little bit, but going to find out Sammy has already picked up the bounty. But yeah, very passive across the map so far. 4.5 minutes in, 0 kills being made. Nobody really trying to make any big attempts here. So everyone just happy farming for now. As I say that, mid lane, Alone trying to get a little bit aggressive on Gunnar, but Gunnar going to turn around and try to get a bit of damage out onto Alone, but they do back off very, very safely.
Yeah, Lone is out of resources, though. I mean, I guess he does have a Mango, so he can probably still float this lane a bit, but this is the kind of time where, as a mid laner, you love to get a free bottle refill. You're a full minute away from the next rune spawn. If you don't get the 6-minute rune in the river, and the enemy maybe goes and takes away your bounty, your laning presence becomes almost non-existent against level 6 Lash, who could look to pressure you and maybe run you down. I guess both heroes having boots will probably allow Heavenly Jump to create enough distance and get away. But nevertheless, Gunnar will, with a superior trade there, will be standing in a pretty good spot right now. Lots of mana to give. 400 against the 150 of Zeus, who now cracks level 6, so Thunder God's Wrath available.
Oh, but rotation here from Lelis.
Nice read from Alone.
Gonna pan out. He does read the movement and gives the tip immediately over to Lelis. Sammy had rotated as well, just in case, as Lelis is going to run right into him now as the gyro, but not going to amount to too much again. Just a bit of harassment being traded both ways.
Yeah, let's see the rune here. This is pretty important. If Zeus, okay, he gets his mana boot, so that will definitely help, and an arcane. Okay, well now everything I just talked about is kind of a waste of breath there, because now he's completely fine, and he's actually going to be looking to find a first blood here.
Yeah, looks like they've got Husky on the Undying, and surely there's no way out for the poor guy. He's going to try and decay and just run, but there's your Thunder God's Wrath coming in. Maybe a little bit unnecessary, Syndra.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, was he concerned that he was somehow going to nail that deny to the neutral camp? I don't know. Maybe there's a bit of value in using it with the arcane rune, but all the damage you do to the top lane is kind of negated by Witch Doctor just using Voodoo Restoration for 3 seconds. So, I don't know. He got the kill. Feels good anyway. It's straight back to mid.
Classic Zeus player, right? Like, they just can't help themselves, these guys. They've always got to press that R button anytime someone's low enough. Makes me damn sick. But nevertheless, like you said, he gets the kill.
I wonder how you would program a bot, a really good Zeus bot, to understand when to ult and when not to ult with the team. I feel like that's such a case-by-case judgment thing that I feel like every bot will just do it. It's like, there's a kill!
Yeah,
get it.
Don't give them any ideas, Sindrin. Don't give those guys any ideas. They'll do it. Top lane. Wildcard, a few rotations upcoming. Alone seems to want to try and maybe hunt down Moo on the Witch Doctor. Does go for the 1-3-1 build here on the Witch Doctor as they do ensnare him up. And this is the thing, right? As the Witch Doctor, you are just going to melt. No chance of survival. I don't think Alone even spammed a spell there onto the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, that was pretty much the perfect timing because Lelis was off to the side warding at the Dire Outpost. So they found the perfect moment of opportunity. If Lelis is there, I don't know if they could have really protected him regardless against Alone, but there would have at least been a bit of hope. But yeah, clean so far from Wildcard. They get those 2 kills. They're once again progressing very well on 2 of their cores. Pango is not doing too hot, but that's to be expected. he'll get his level 6 soon enough. He'll get his mana boots, and then, you know, this hero is a lot more about the levels than the items most of the time, so it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
All right, he's actually going to put it to use right away.
Yeah, level 6 pop. Yamsun going to be hunted. Sammy going to show up as well here with the homing missile. Yamsun still trying to juke out, but can't really do so. They will land the arrow, but he's somehow still alive. They just don't have the follow-up, but there you go. The Zeus comes in clutch. Sammy will take the kill. Sammy understands he's dead. Will give his life away to Lilith, but a very important kill for the side of Wildcard, as they still do get hunted here. Lil Nick being chased down by Gunnar.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Gunnar couldn't connect the stun there. Yeah, Lil Nick had no mana to give, but Alone did come in for mana boots, so he would have been fine. Yeah, it's a good kill. Probably did not want to get it on the gyro there. Would have been nice for Lil Nick to get a little bit of extra gold there, but it's all right. They got a bit of rotation out of it as well, and at this point in time, MSS will be taking advantage of the overall hero movements as well to be a little greedier. This is what's nice sometimes when you play some of these position 4s like Mirana is if your teammates are accomplishing something without you and you get a little bit of a moment of opportunity to just, you know, stack a camp or move around, and you see here he's just going to arrow some of the enemy's farm as well. Just step-by-step playing efficiency on the map whenever there's downtime feels really good. So he's making the most of the situation. He might even find a courier kill here. Oh, that is not a good leap.
Whoopsie daisies.
Yep, he's just... it's out.
Bottom lane, there's a fight breaking out anyway. Husky, he's going to drop. Alone, able to pick him off. Sammy's still trying to fight against Lelis, and they should have the Tiny. Lelis eventually should go down, and Lil Nick will finish the job. Though Yamsun...
yeah, he's in trouble here, Alone.
Yeah, Tombstone doing so much damage. Alone can knock it away from it. That's kind of the thing. Like, someone's going to focus this Tombstone throughout the team fight. Nobody does so.
Yeah,
and
you want to take your pick? I don't know who I'm putting on that Tombstone. Mirana, who wasn't there, I guess. You have the Song of the Siren and mirror images to kill it with later, but obviously your war is not going to show up to that situation, so Husky feels really good about dropping that. And keep in mind, that was a level 1 Tombstone. It's going to get worse than that, obviously, but it is pretty common nowadays for Undyings to max decay early on, but I wonder if, because you're against Naga, if you just don't level up the Tombstone more than this and you focus on the other 2 spells, I still think it's good value to get it later, but well, we'll see.
Speaking of that Naga, Siren, you are having a very nice time right now on the Naga. Top net worth on the board, just freely farming up. No real contest here in the Dire jungle, and kind of feels like, oh, hold that thought, because bottom lane, Yamsun.
It's a big one. Oh, there's that Zeus bot. There it is.
Alone, come on!
I think that was another completely unnecessary ult, but, you know, you do get the assist, you get the experience, right? Because you get the last hit globally, and getting the levels on Zeus is probably pretty powerful here.
Yeah.
And if you are, I think if you're Wildcard, you are looking to stack gold onto a hero, this is probably your pick, to be honest. I have more faith in Zeus carrying this game than Naga, because I think as far as core Naga games go, the hero is relatively counterpicked. Like, you have a Lesh mid, you have a Drow carry, like Fear talked about, this matchup is on a pretty narrow timing for the Naga from my perspective as well. You have like maybe 5 to 10 minutes where that is your matchup, and then anything before and after that is kind of tough. But the Zeus is pretty uncountered, right? There's nothing on Nouns that really catches him and kills him off except the Tiny Dagger. So if Alone is big and he can itemize probably very offensively this game, you could look at something like Ags and Kaya Sanj, maybe even an E-Blade if you want to go that path. It's this is a game that Zeus can truly carry. So
Wildcard, I mean, they're looking like a different team right now. I got to tell you, Syndrin, because I've casted every other single game of them in Tour 2 so far, and this is much more dominant than what I've been seeing. I'll tell you, as Husky, gonna get picked off here, Alone able to pick up a double damage rune, and that does drop the Tombstone, but that looks like it's just maybe going to be fed to the side of Wildcard as well.
Yep. Zeus will get that as well, so an extra 125. I mean, things are coming along really nicely for Alone. He's actually ahead of the curve here. You see him, he's quick buying up the shard. He's going to be like, wait, I have too much gold. I can't get it yet.
Wow.
So I don't know if he's going to deviate from this and try to finish the Sanj first, or if he's just going to wait the 2.5 minutes right now, but it's kind of awkward to just sit on 2k gold for 2 minutes. It still might be the best, because you really want to get this when you can. Maybe just buy the Belt of Strength and then hold the rest of your gold. Curious what his choice is going to be.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll have a look. But yeah, Wildcard 2k ahead, just
Yeah, that's good.
I kind of wonder, like, at what point do you think Nouns' draft is meant to kind of spike? Because for now, it just feels like they haven't had a game.
This is a pretty natural timing, right? The Lesh Bloodstone is nice, but like you pointed out, the fact that the things haven't really come together for them this far maybe means that it will be tough. They're still going to go for it, though. They will make a smoke move, but their lineup is very limited in the way of catch. Like, Tiny's Dagger is pretty much essential for this lineup to function in this kind of way against a lot of the dire heroes. Like, Zeus can just jump away, Pango can swashbuckle away, Mirana can leap away, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of mobility, and you don't have any, like, surprise catch until Tiny has the blink. So you're going to see here, I don't even know if this is going to work. It's not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's that smoke out of the window. Maybe what you should do as Nouns is actually let Lelos farm. Like, get him that dagger so you can start making the moves instead of brute forcing moves like this. That it's easy to say from our perspective when we see both teams' movement, right? But that one obviously didn't work.
Definitely feels very, very desperate here from Nouns, to say the least. As the wildcard now, they know where they are. They're going to 3-man smoke up.
Oh, Mu has a locket? This item exists? Well, okay, if he buys Solar Crest next, he's literally just trying to boost win rates of items that nobody purchases. But it's I don't know if I like this actually. I thought he was gonna go Greaves with these arcane boots. I'm not sold on the locket.
I'm with you. It certainly feels a little bit questionable, especially considering the state of the game right now. As well, at the very least, Wildcard could not make the smoke rotation work out, so they won't find themselves a target. And yeah, like, Holy Locket, it's I mean, yeah, it's a weird one. I am very curious now myself. I did not notice that's the item build he went for.
I just think you look at the heroes you're playing against, right? What is powerful against this, I think, is burst heal. It's not the consistent heal over time. You're playing against Zeus, Pango, Gyro. I think the burst heal of a mech and the burst shield of a pipe is just more powerful than a locket in general. Also, he made the locket without disassembling, right? So he has locket and arcane boots.
Lelis?
It's just very expensive. He's gone.
Yeah, he's caught out. I do agree with you on that point. Like, he doesn't disassemble the arcane, so definitely a greedier way of building this. Like, it kind of almost implies maybe he's going to go back for the Guardian Greaves later on, but...
Yeah, then I just, again, I'm not following the order. I don't think there's sound logic to build it like that, unless... Like, there will be some games where I think that build is better relatively to this one. I'm just not seeing it, man. This is just not how... going from the power levels of these teams and the drafts, this is not how I expected this game to be going right now whatsoever. So
yeah.
Really good for Wildcard. This is Song.
Yeah, nice Song to set up. They got gun up, but they're going to try and retreat here, Wildcard. They don't seem to want the fight.
Yeah, they already lost the tower. They were too late. And fighting into this Bloodstone Lash, I actually like the call to just back out. They didn't have Pango roll. They will find at least one straggler here.
Oh, they're moving back in. Gunner, he got a nice start off, and now a double avalanche is going to be there. Alone is gone. And they found another. Lil Nick also going down as Husky hands the tip over. Well, I mean, was Husky baiting there? I guess maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just saying, I think that was a good disengage from Wildcard. They already lost the tower. They used the Song, but it was too late, and they just kind of called that play. But then they went back in, and I don't agree with this idea of going in when you've thrown your Song away, you don't have Rolling Thunder.
Uh-oh.
Your heroes are pretty low on mana, and yeah, and bonus kill here. They're also going to find MSS, so okay. We were just talking up how Wildcard are exceeding expectations right now, but they kind of just dropped the ball there and lost half their lead in the blink of an eye. And what's so big about this is that Lelis is involved, right? He's involved in these kills. He's now going to get the mid-wave. And we'll be getting... I'm not going to call this a timely dagger. It's still not the greatest timing, but it's the most important item for the Radiant lineup. And most importantly, what you're seeing at the pit right now is the ultimate spoils of this, unless Wildcard can somehow get there in time. They can't steal it, because they're on a Song. Yeah, they're probably just gonna have to give this one up.
Yeah, it's a interesting scenario Wildcard's put themselves in. Like, one lost team fight and suddenly Roshan's gone the way of Nouns. It's... Considering the great start they had, like, they've just kind of thrown it back the way of Nouns now, and you've almost got to be kicking yourself if you're Wildcard.
Yeah, especially, that's one of the curses, or... It almost feels twice as bad when you have Naga and this happens, because it's like, you had every opportunity. You had the enemy team asleep. You already lost your tower. You had every choice to not go for this, and you did anyway. It just feels like twice as bad because you know, like sometimes you get caught off guard and, oh man, we messed up. You know, they found 2 kills out of smoke and you weren't really prepared, but you only have yourself to blame on this one, right? Like you had all the information available to you. You knew the enemy items, you knew their positioning, you knew your own cooldowns, and you still dropped the ball. So, yep, that's rough. And it does arguably put the game into Nouns' favor now, I would say, despite, you know, the goal differential is kind of meaningless at this point. It's irrelevant. The Aegis advantage overpowers that easily, and the flow of the game now is what Nouns' lineup is looking for, right? Tiny daggers online, Lesh has the Bloodstone and the Aegis, Drow has her Pike. You can probably just start walking from tower to tower here and look to put some serious pressure.
Update, by the way, Syndred. Looking back at Moo, he is going for Guardian Greaves.
Good. Yeah. So I'm trying to wrap my head around this, right? Because I'm like, if you go Greaves Pipe, you don't want to buy Locket third, right? Then you want something bigger. So if you do have to, quote unquote, have to buy the Locket, I guess buying it before the mech is, I don't know, man. I'm kind of grasping at straws here.
Oh, hear me out, mate. I think I might have an idea.
Okay.
You buy Holy Locket, you amp the heal, right, by 30%, which then in turn amps the damage Voodoo Restoration's doing by 30%. Yes, because it does the damage done to the heal value. 100% of the heal value. So I think maybe that's why Moo's doing it.
Those two are not separate.
No.
It's actually just directly tied to the healing. I thought it was just 2 of the same number, you know?
We're learning together.
Okay, but you're positive, because that changes my perspective entirely. I didn't know it works like that.
According to the tooltip.
Okay.
According to the English that's in the tooltip, it says...
Yeah, I don't know if you can trust that one.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, so if that's the case, that's actually pretty interesting. Okay, I like it a lot more then. Yeah, I thought the base values of both were the same, but that healing amp only worked on the healing part. So yeah,
I mean,
learn something new. That's pretty cool. I love Locket. Holy shit, it's amazing on this hero.
I might have to demo it. Like it's hard to trust these tooltips in
the moment
2023.
we're gonna find out it doesn't work that way anyway. Oh man.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, regardless, though, I guess that's the idea. Well, you know.
Yeah, that checks out though. If it definitely skews the math quite a bit, right? Especially when you're playing against a carry hero like Naga, then having extra 30% damage on this does matter quite a bit in team fights. And you are still getting the rest of the items like we talked about. You're going for the Greaves to be sustainable in the fight. Still curious if the Pipe is on the menu. He's not queuing up anything extra for now, or if you want to be more ambitious, like. Could you see something like maybe BKB here, honestly? Like you pop your heal, you BKB, you run in, you look for a cask opportunity, and then you can use your ult, and you know the enemy team has 0 interrupts. It could be a thing.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? This is uncharted territory for at least us here, Syndrin. Moo's gonna...
I'm trying to see if it does the amount of damage you would expect to the creep wave, but it's kind of hard to.
Little Nick. He's gonna run away. I mean, I'm just purely going off the fact that it says 100% of heal value.
Right.
That's all I'm going on. So we'll see. I mean, it'd be nice if it actually showed the tick rate, like the numbers.
Yeah.
It doesn't, sadly.
Uh-oh. Well, Nick. Oh,
he's all right.
Close to getting that blink cancelled by a lightning storm.
Having missile. Gonna land here on Gunner. Obviously, that shard's so annoying to have to play against, but you've got like unlimited heals coming out from Moo now, so who the hell cares? He'll be all right.
Yeah, this is something that there's like a couple of teams in, I want to say in the world right now. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, they've caught Sammy.
Okay. Well, he had the most deaths per game on average, was it?
I think he may have.
Yeah, so he's doing too well right now. I think if he wants to keep that stat, he's got to get in there. So that's good.
Little Nick.
Uh-oh.
Trapped in the tree line, gonna try and roll out of there and should be okay. Yamson's gonna see him, but can't really chase him down. Nevertheless, I mean, they're here for the tier 2 top tower.
Yeah. As soon as you see that rolling thunder, you know the tower's yours, right? Like now they can't really fight Nouns into an Aegis without that ult, so they will concede that. They're looking for a bit of a trade down bottom. Some good pushing coming out from Yawar, who's still been, you know, relatively quiet this game. He is playing Naga after all, so he's kind of just, you know, doing what he's supposed to. Interesting to see him grab the Mage Slayer and then go into Heart. Obviously, he wants the Mage Slayer to build his Bloodthorn later, but if you're not looking to fight anyway, I don't know if this is a little bit of an efficiency loss, right? Instead of getting other items in a different order. Because the Mage Slayer's for the Lesh, right? Obviously, he wants that extra value, but maybe they just haven't found the fights that they were maybe hoping to when he bought the item. Wow, they're just giving up the trade, huh? They're just letting him take more or less the full bot tier 2. They could just, if they had any information right now, they would definitely be sending a hero down bottom, but...
Yeah?
Yeah, it's step by step, it looks like he's just going to be able to whittle this one down.
Yeah, now just leave it. They don't seem to mind too much. Maybe just concerned about who's behind him. But like you said, you are completely alone at the bot lane. And well, Wildcard, they'll say thank you very much for that.
Yep. Here it goes. Problem. Oh, actually, never mind. There's a glyph. I'll stall it out another wave, but nobody's looking interested. And now the backup is also closer by than it was before. Lil Nick will get away here.
Yeah, thought about it for a moment, but we'll back his way out. And there's going to be a 4-man smoker, so they're going to try and go for something.
Good timing with the Greaves. They want to put them to use right away for a fight, potentially.
Clear out the mid wave. Sammy.
Nice positioning here. He breaks the smoke. Oh, well, oh, wait, hang on. He didn't know he broke the smoke, it looks like.
Moonlight Shadow is popped, but Rolling Thunder's there. Lil Nick, he's going to get in, and now you are. He does also show up as Gunnar. Gunnar's dropping very, very low, but does still have the Aegis up if necessary. So they haven't dropped anyone yet. Tombstone down. Lil Nick. He'll back his way out, but there's your song out from Yuar. But it's not going to amount to anything. It just seems like they're going to retreat.
Yeah, if they want to fight there, they have to pop the Manta and kill the Tombstone during that song, right? Otherwise, you kind of just, you have to give up that positioning. I think disengaging is solid. Lil Nick had used the pipe, he had used his ult. They didn't really have any advantage to chase through there. So it's fine to get out. At the end of the day, Nouns also end up not using their Aegis for anything. There's that offensive build from the Zeus with the E-Blade coming out.
See if he can actually blow anyone up, though. Like, apart from the supports, that is. Alone's just been very quiet.
So tanky.
Yeah.
And he is eyeing up the Hood, so love to see it. I just think, at the very least, the Hood, if you do go Hood this game, you finish the pipe for your team, right, against these heroes. Because once again, I think BKB could have been a potential choice, but I'm happy to see all these items now. And once again, if you're right about the Voodoo Restoration damage, then I'm a huge fan of his item build. In this order, even.
He's very creative, this guy, isn't he, when it comes to item builds? Like, you never know what this guy's going to get up to.
You wouldn't think this guy played Timbersaw forever with what you see today. He's come a long way from having one of the smallest hero pools to ever get second place at TI to where he is now. Mu has definitely... I think it's fair to say he's probably the offlaner in NA with the biggest hero pool in the DPC, right? Because he's not afraid to play literally anything, seemingly.
He may be.
When I think of this guy, I think like offlane Gyro, offlane Faceless Void, Witch Doctor is now on his resume, you know? And then he obviously plays all the standard stuff, too.
Oh, Sammy, he's going to take the smoke here, but Lil Nick is going to move in with the Rolling Thunder.
Oh, it's a good damage of Gunnar.
Yeah, it certainly is. Gunnar copping a fair bit of damage. Doesn't have the Bloodstone right now, so needs to heal up thanks to the Moo. Moo still keeping him alive. Gunnar, he's going to walk out of there. All right, they still win the team fight. I'll tell you, man, the heals coming out from this Voodoo Restoration, it looks so stupid. Like, he can't die.
It's really deceptive when... Like when heroes drop low as well, right? So you have the Greaves when they start dropping low. You have that burst heal. He didn't even use the locket there, so he could have had another burst heal coming in for Gunnar as well if necessary.
Oh, you are?
All right. He will be fine.
Just fine indeed. Song TP out, rejoin his teammate. But again, Wildcard, like my concern is they're not the ones being the aggressors anymore. Just it feels like they're playing very reactively to what Nouns are doing, and I don't know, Cinder. Like, do you agree with this kind of gameplay here from Wildcard?
I think they're... So this is the thing about Yawar's item build, right? I think their lineup is at the mercy of... I almost want to say Naga has to be playmaker, right? Because who is setting up who on Wildcard? There's no setup for the arrow except homing missile, but, you know, like, people are going to either break that or they're going to run away. The Pango and Zeus have a lot of AoE damage, but they don't have a way of enforcing the enemy team staying in it. And as we saw in that last fight, that might not even be enough, right? So what if Yawar had gone for a more offensive build than this? Then you run the risk of not being able to fight regardless because you can't overpower Lesh's and Drow's damage, so you might end up regretting that. It's kind of just a damn it if you do, damn it if you don't situation, right?
Right.
Where if he would have gone for a fast Orchid after the Manta, he would have been able to set up plays for his team because then he can just ensnare Orchid and then they can arrow. And that could lead to something. That's what I would have liked to see, honestly. I think Orchid into Heart would have been better, and then finish the Bloodthorn with the Slayer at that point. But now that he's taken this path, yeah, I mean, you're kind of just you can't really make that many moves, to be honest, with their hero combo right now.
You really can't. They'll keep kind of suffering here, Wildcard. Like, you saw an arrow land, but they just can't follow up. Like, Luce is standing right behind. Yeah, he's just tanking it.
He's literally just walking up there and just standing. Look! Like, this is a Witch Doctor, okay? Usually when this guy does this, he just dies, but...
It's crazy, man. It really doesn't make any sense. They are going to make the jump hit. Lelis taking a fair bit of damage, but is still okay as Lil Nick will chase him down. But here comes Moo. Look at this. Oh, they can't take him out. He just heals through it. And in we go. Great avalanche set up here from Lelis. Toss up on Sammy. They would at least have a gyro, but now the cask bouncing around onto Lil Nick. Chase him down and just take him out. Put him out of his misery. Lil Nick's down. How demoralizing is that?
Yeah, it's really what it boils down to, right? Nouns have a good understanding in this game of what they can get away with. When you're running your offlane Witch Doctor up the high ground like that and just frontlining and taking an arrow to the face, and your teammates just chill, they weren't stressed. They weren't like, oh shit, they're gonna go on Moo and kill him. They wanted it, right? That would just set up Lesh for a great initiation. It would set up a tiny Avatoss. So I think that's the biggest struggle for Wildcard right now, is finding a target. Oh, Lelis might have actually got there with that avalanche if he went for it. MSS, nice positioning.
He's all right.
Yeah, Lelis has a gem, so if he got any glimpse of vision there, that would have been a kill, but they both get out.
Roshan's up, though. That's the main concern I have for Wildcard. Like, if Nouns want to just set up,
I think they just take it now. If they see Naga at all, then I think your only hope of getting this Roche as Dire without Zeus ulti ready is a Song Steal. That doesn't look like it's on the menu, though.
Well, Roshan's definitely gone. Wildcard not even trying to head that way, so that'll be the second Roshan of the game. Shan's up as well for Nouns. Now, happy days. 4K advantage. Wildcard, I mean, they've still got this gold sync of a Naga Siren at the moment, but it's just, the impact is just not there yet from Yuar. And obviously, you already talked about the item timings here from Yuar, maybe just not being the way it should have been, maybe the wrong order here, but the Wildcard just almost feel like they're lacking a game plan. And now it's almost like you're kind of waiting for Nouns to make a mistake, right? Like, it's got to kind of be an error from their side to pull the game back your way, but they've just... There's so much sustain. Like, you've got Greaves, Locket, Voodoo Restoration, Soul Rip. Like, nobody's dying. It's just impossible.
All right, hear me out. Here's what you do.
Right.
Gunnar just got the shard. You put the Witch Doctor in front and you stun him with Lesh.
Yeah.
And then he just stands there. And Naga can't go on him.
That'd be amazing.
He's literally just going to be tanking everything. I was wondering if they were going to give him the shard. Drow obviously bought her own. The Witch Doctor shard is pretty cool, right? But they still rate the Lesh stun higher, which I think is reasonable when you're playing against Naga core. Just having more and more problems for her to navigate fights is really valuable. Every stun is going to be an added difficulty. And if Nouns are planning high ground, then this shard is just going to be incredible, right? You just stun in the proximity of where your heroes are going to stand, and Naga will have such a hard time accessing anything. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they literally just go for it here. Like, is the pipe complete on Moo? Not quite. So 100 gold to go. So that would obviously be ideal, but as we've seen before, they might just have enough healing anyway.
Yeah, doesn't really feel like they need it.
That I do not like that ult.
Yeah, it was a bit
This ult needs to be a finisher. They're just gonna out heal it all. Now you just have less damage in the upcoming fight.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was all about.
That's not good.
No. Well, nevertheless, Nouns do back off for a little bit, but that was just because the glyph was forced.
Yeah.
They'll move back in. No problem.
He didn't even Bloodstone for this heal, right? Like, he's just... It's whatever.
Yeah.
They're full again. Moo has forgotten the hotkey to switch off his heal. He's just got infinite mana, it seems. It doesn't matter. Oh, good arrow.
Does land, but look at this. Just... Alright, no problem. We'll just heal him up again. Go for a reset. There goes the tier 3 tower. Onto the bottom racks they go. Wildcard, how are you going to address this? Let's see what happens.
Let's just keep pulsing the heal with the Soul Ring running.
Song is up.
All right, they're going to break the tomb, and then, I mean, you got to Hail Mary this, right? But I don't think Lesh is your target, You can't kill him twice.
They're going to leave him alone. They want Moo on the Witch Doctor,
Good,
but he's just
stab.
fine to just heal up through it all. He does not care. There's so much heals incoming. He's 4 HP. He's just 4 HP right now. No, Nick's just going to run.
All right, I don't throw around the word hopeless very much in 7K gold games, but it's like, it feels like they used everything and no hero got below 60% health.
Yeah.
Even if they had a Zeus ult there, that wouldn't have mattered, to be fair. They just don't. They don't have solutions. And Naga can't... That's what just happens to this hero sometimes, man. You know, I feel like some teams, you really need to... You need to enable this hero if you play it as a core. This was a first phase pick for your team. You chose to put it as a core against Lesh and Drow, and you've had no return on investment. He has 400 CS. I'm guessing he has a hero damage of less than 5k, right?
Yeah.
Like he's just... Because he can't go on these heroes, and that just begs the question, why did you put this hero on core to begin with if you weren't going to use it as a core, right? I mean, the game's about to end, and he hasn't done anything. And it's not like you're just like, oh man, Yawar's just playing a terrible game. It's not really to his fault that his hero has a hard time here. It's a bit of a strategic disconnect for me that it just doesn't make sense to me what they were trying to do then.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, Syndra, as they are going to make a jump in again. Lil Nick going to try and at least go into this Undying, but here comes Moo once again to make sure he's healed up, and he's still just alive.
Oh, they got him.
They got him.
They got someone. I use buyback.
They were lacking Soul Rip, to be fair. He was perma-stunned up, so they get something, but now Alone's going to get caught out here. Gunnar, he's just right in. He could just go against the whole team, it feels like, but he is going to back off because the rest of his team is backed off. So Lil Nick.
I like this from Gunnar, though. I think he identifies that if he finds a Blink Hex on the Zeus and just kills him, that's like... At this point, probably 80% of the Dire team's damage, right? Is that backline Zeus. So if Gunnar can solve that for his team, the game's over. Might be fine anyway. All right, he's going to go for it again.
Yeah, why not? He's found the Zeus, and with the backup, it's just too easy. No problem. Buyback is available if he wants to commit it, but he will not quite yet. He's holding out on the buyback. Toss back onto Gunnar. He's going to be surviving for now as they do make the jump in again. Yawar in massive trouble. Alone's finally brought back, but it's too late. And Yawar's got no buyback. Sammy's getting tipped by Yamsun. Yamsun just giving it to him with the gyrocopter. There was a little bit of beef in 2-1, by the way, between these two teams, but I didn't think it still existed here between these two as, well, the tier 4 tower is now under siege. Wildcard, they are not calling GG, but I don't see how you defend at this point.
Well, let's do some quick math here. If with 5 heroes you could get the enemy heroes to 70%, how much can you get them to with 3 heroes? 80? 85?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like nothing happened, you know?
Nothing
They're
happened.
literally just pushed the whole base and they're all full health and mana. So, you know? There's something about watching healing strats. Like, I think it's actually quite enjoyable, you know? There's a couple of teams, that was what I was going to say earlier. There's a couple of teams that this comes to mind with. Nouns is one of them.